down, but Fear was not going to let you hide. He wants to try and bring down a Force, but a Force ends the ground, and Chem pulls Fear back in the base after Force gets a double kill. Leap on the way! The leap on the swap on the leap!
Butchering Brax, phase shift dodges it, but to what end? They've done no damage. Now their song's down, and Fnatic are going to move on here.
Both guys, they're losing down the tree line. Denny gonna phase shift, and then when the team is gone, they're gonna jump in. Koro! Big stun, double stun, feed can cancel, black hole, won't go. He actually gets two. KY Twine Ohio, locked in position. A Force with a double kill. Mushi, almost dead, and is dead. Mushi down, and SK will buy back, and GG! Navi! Are you ready? Welcome back, everybody, to Game 2 of Cloud9 versus Team Liquid. We just got done with Game 1, where Cloud9 kept their hopes alive by being able to take down Team Liquid and their stand-in Demon. Even though he had that early pick Lycanthrope that apparently he really wanted, it proved not to be really worth it in the end. And Cloud9 with their pushing Eternal Envy on a Luna, I mean, that's just classic, but their pushing lineup just proved to be too much, honestly. Taking out all the early Tier 1 towers, as well as cleaning up some Tier 2s for some favorable trades. Either way, Team Liquid, they really got to get their head in the game here, because they just need to take one game off of Cloud9, and then they can worry about the next series versus Evil Geniuses, where if they just take one game off of EG, they've secured themselves at least second place, and they go into the finals up against Evil Geniuses for a rematch. So either way, they need to get their head in the game here, maybe pick up something a little bit better. And I love the fact, real quick, that Cloud9, Demon earlier was kind of, telling Cloud9, like, hey, at least Team Liquid will draft me a Lycan. You guys never would when I was playing with you guys as stand-in, but hey, Team Liquid will. Apparently Cloud9, Pylon goes, okay, if you want to really see what a Lycanthrope can do, we'll go ahead and pick it up. We'll show you what a Lycan really does. And go ahead and welcome in my co-caster. SneyKing's going to be joining me once again.
Yeah, thank you. And it was a pretty interesting game last game. It was pretty close until the very bitter end. But nonetheless, this is Dota. There has to be a victor. There can't be ties or anything unless the server crash. And of course, another story. The 100-minute game.
The 100-minute game. That was it takes me back, man. That takes me back. Let's get into this game, though. Draft coming out. Ancient Apparition, Bat Rider, Ember Spirit, as well as the Nyx Assassin being banned away. We have the Liquid. They picked up Naga Siren as well as a Bane in response to the Lycan. So I love the fact that they grab real quickly early control up against the Lycanthrope. Like, the Naga Siren Ensnare is really strong versus Lycan because he's moving around at max movement speed until he gets hit by that Ensnare, and it doesn't even matter if he has a BKB or not. He's still going to wait out some of that precious shapeshift time just standing there all by himself, and maybe gets even worse once he does have a BKB, because that means they can possibly hold everybody else on Cloud9 invulnerable with the Naga Siren Sleep and just leave the Lycan by himself with his BKB, and they can 5-man focus him down, as well as the Bane ultimate going to be able to hold Lycan up. A lot of early control from Team Liquid, and I love seeing this from them. Cloud9, though, they respond with a Dazzle pickup.
Yeah, and this sort of a classic EG lineup right now, the current EG that is, with the Lycan Dazzle. These are some of their favorite heroes to play, and we do see Lycan middle being run by them, as played by RTZ, but I don't think that'll be the case with how Cloud9 plays it. I think it'll be Eternal Envy on the Lycan. I personally don't think SneyKing's going to play it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they have learned the ways of EG and trying to adapt and do something similar.
The ways of the wolf.
Yeah, but perhaps they're going to stick to something they already know how to do. And Liquid, like you said, grab the control, very good. But right now, there's a pretty minus armor heavy, I think it's going to lineup coming up from Cloud9. This Dazzle pick himself is already like minus 20 armor. It's just nature of the hero. It's OP. And once the Scepter is picked up, and I'm pretty sure it's going to get picked up, like Pylon plays a pretty farm heavy support, and like last game, he was able to pick up a Scepter on Rasa without too much trouble. And I expect him to do so in this game as well. And we're going to see many Necro books coming out from Cloud9. Like, many Necro books. 3x. Like, Chen, Lycan, Sing Sing, and probably Bone 7 as well. I mean, everyone's going to get a freaking Necro book. And Liquid is going for the early all-in strategy. And this is one of the more untraditional lineups we have seen.
Yeah, when it comes to Western play, when you pick up a Centaur, you're sort of saying, hey, I'm going all in early to mid game. Now, it's not to say that Centaur in other situations run as an offlane hero. It can't be successful in more later game lineups, but it seems to be a standard that in the Western scene, if you pick up a Centaur, you're going like all into the mid game. But Cloud9, first of all, Liquid, they banned away both the Furion and the Invoker, so I love that. Taking away the Necronomicon heroes like you were talking about, as well as any minion summoning heroes, very, very important to ban away when a Lycan is already picked up. I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of Lycan being grabbed so early. I really like him as a 3-4 pickup, but so early on in the 1-2, it seems like you can kind of address both him as well as the allies that you'd like to synergize with a Lycan as well. But you were talking about earlier, it's not only just like minus armor strats, but also minion strats. So I suppose no matter what two heroes you ban away in the second banning phase, there's still plenty of options for a Lycan. And Cloud9, one of their options, they go ahead and pick up a Puck. So grab some early control themselves. And I do love seeing a Puck with Lycan because Dream Coil is sort of that, just that optimal sort of disable for a Lycan to get in there and just tear apart the enemy. And it gets even worse when you have Weave ticking down on those enemy heroes as well.
Yeah, and definitely. And right now, I think I've seen this sort of lineup being ran before with these three heroes, Naga, Bane, and Centaur. And it is going to be a Bane Centaur combo. That's pretty obvious. But the question is it going to be a mid Naga? Because if it's a mid Naga, I don't think Boba will be playing it. That's not his strong suit. He's not a mid farmer. And it'll probably be played by Koifa because I don't think TC is going to be playing this personally. Just from what I think.
Right.
And the Tree Protector was just picked up right here. So I may be mistaken. I don't know. The lanes are seemingly weird.
I think you're still good. Run Bane Centaur as the off lane, maybe, with Tree Protector being the pulling support in your safe lane. Pick up some sort of ranged, basically any sort of glass cannon that is going to do decently well in the mid game. It can't be just some sort of AFK hero, but some sort of good damage dealer, maybe a gyrocopter or something like that. Mid-game oriented glass cannon style hero that outputs a lot of damage, that can stand up against the Lycan, or at least output a lot of damage on him when he's disabled. And then from there, you can turn that, like you were talking about, how Koifa playing the Naga Siren, and have him farm up middle, and then transition into maybe a harder one if the game goes late enough. Yeah,
and perhaps Team Liquid will be able to turtle to late game and have the Naga Siren 6-slot it, and once that happens, it is a nightmare to fight against a Naga Siren 6-slot, and it's not too difficult to get 6-slotted either, and we have seen him get 6-slotted at like 35-40 minute mark. And once that do happen, Liquid's teamfight is scary. Initiation from Sleep, and then from Centaur, Tree Root, Bane Grip. These are some very nice control abilities, follow up with the Naga Sleep. So I definitely can see what Team Liquid is trying to accomplish, but the issue is getting there. Because Cloud9, this is an early aggressive lineup they have. I mean, they can easily snowball into mid-game as well. And that's something that they definitely want to do.
Yeah, we've got the Visage now being picked up for Cloud9, so Aoi is going to have an Aghanims, standard Aghanims time for a support Visage, probably like 15 minutes or something like that. Aoi's just insane at being able to find that kind of farm. So really, really early. Aghanims for a Visage, 25 minutes in probably. He has that. They've got really good pushing power between him and the Lycan. They can take down towers very, very quickly. After they force a good team fight, and now it's revealed. Team Liquid, they're going to go ahead and grab the Tinker. So do you still back Koifa playing the Naga Siren? We have a Bulba Tinker? Do we have a Koifa Tinker?
It's a Bulba Tinker. Unless TC's playing the Naga, then things are going to get shifted really hard because Bulba would not be playing a solo lane. He'd be in the tri lane, and I don't think that's going to happen. So I think Koifa on Naga Siren, Bulba Tinker.
So they have a way to be able to buy themselves a lot of room for the Naga Siren to work. Like, even if Cloud9 have this early pushing lineup, they're going to have issues pushing into a Tinker. You just spam out a couple of March Machines, and there you go, boom. Push is completely rebuffed. and they have to back up and rethink what they're going to do. And all the meanwhile, you're going to have a Naga Siren trying to farm up that Radiance, and once it has Radiance, the game just becomes that much harder exponentially, because then you have the split push coming in from the Naga Siren. She's farming up every part of the map. And the other heroes, the Bane, Centaur, Treant Protector, what I love about this is you have very, very greedy heroes on Team Liquid with the Naga and the Tinker, but the other three don't really need a whole lot of farm to work around. Centaur needs a Blink Dagger, pretty much. That's it. The two supports, you don't really need anything on them. They are just fine by themselves. You would love to see a Blink on the Treant Protector, maybe some sort of Force Staff or something like that for the Bane, but other than that, it's really not necessary for any other items. So if Naga Siren and Tinker taking up every bit of farm on the map, that's fine. They're going to go into late game looking strong. Cloud9, though, they double down on the mid game, picking up a Timbersaw.
Yeah, and this Timbersaw pick is actually excellent. I mean, look at the number of disables Liquid has. It's next to zero, basically, besides the Centaur stun. They have a lot of ensnares and slows, but they won't have the disable until Boba gets that sheep stick. And that's not going to be quite for some time. So I expect this Bone 7 Timbersaw. It's probably one of the better Timbersaws in the world, and it's going to be able to do a lot of work early on. Whether if it's against a solo lane or the triple lane, it's just going to be very difficult to deal with.
Yeah, you're right, man. I mean, it's some of those, like, you're not really wanting to be able to use, like, Bane and his disables on a Timbersaw all that much. The Ensnare isn't going to do anything because you still have that Timber Chain being able to throw down. So I do like the Timbersaw pickup. On top of that, hey, you got a couple of strength heroes as well, Centaur, Treant Protector. You know, those are going to have hard times versus the Whirling Death. So that's going to be an issue for them. I like this Timbersaw pickup, but I'm still really scared. It doesn't change my mind about the Tinker. Like, just trying to push into that Tinker. And where's the initiation from them really going to be found? It's only the Puck that is going to be your big initiator. Once we have a Blink Dagger up on Tinker, the Blink Boots of Travel build, he's kind of unstoppable. It's all up to Sing Sing, and that guy just can't be